Hi, everyone. Welcome to Life Redefined Season 2, an online film discussion where we're sharing inspiring stories of young adult brain tumor survivors. Thank you for joining us today. Our event has been generously sponsored by Selectpath, professional financial services. Thank you, Selectpath. We appreciate the support. I'm Amanda Hutter, Support Service Specialist here at Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada. With me throughout this event is Dr. Mike Lang, Digital Storytelling Specialist. And we also have Camila Gomez with us today. Thank you both for being here.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Amanda. Man, I'm really excited about today, Camilla, for everyone to get to see your story and to be part of the discussion with us. And I'm always tempted to give too much away in my introduction, so I'm not going to, but I love just the theme that your story explores, and I can't wait to hear what people have to say about it. And so just as a reminder to everyone who's watching along online, make sure to put one thing that resonates with you in the chat below, and then we'll be able to talk about that afterwards. And of course, we'll have plenty to talk about with Camilla. So without any further ado, here we go. You ready, Camilla?
Yep.
Here we go. All right. Camilla's story.
Last week, I was out shopping at the mall during the day, finally able to get a few things that I needed for home before my kids come home from school. I rounded a corner and almost bumped into an old friend from high school. Hi, oh my goodness, it's been too long. How are you? What's new in your life? I stood looking at her for a moment. What do I say? What really is new in my life? It all started when my husband and I bought our first home, October 21st. Adrenaline and excitement filled every room in our home. We did it! We were on cloud 9. Then the headaches started. It was only for 2 days. Then another 7. It was constant afterwards. It would be so intense that I would wake up in the middle of the night. It got really scary when I couldn't see out of my left eye and lost balance. My husband was worried and made an appointment with my doctor. A month ended up passing by, and the symptoms were getting worse. No type of medication was helpful. December 15th finally came around, the day of my CT scan. After the test was done, I was told the standard. Your doctor will contact you in 2 to 3 days to discuss. I felt relief that something might finally change. I went about my day and went to work. It was a great distraction. 2 hours later, I got a phone call while sitting at my desk. It was my doctor. I'm so sorry. It looks like they found something. I'll never forget those words. Everything else seemed like a blur after that. I just mostly remember feeling numb and surreal. This isn't my life. This is a horrible dream that I couldn't wake up from. The follow-up appointments came so quickly. I saw so many nurses and doctors that it was hard to keep track of who I talked to. We all went in with a game plan we were happy with, and although my initial surgery date changed without notice, it was still going to happen sooner than anyone expected. Finally, it was February 6th. Time to be brave. Wow, you are so brave and strong. I don't know how you're doing it. As we walked away a few minutes later, wishing each other a great rest of the day, I was thinking, I don't know how I did that either. Really, It was my only option. I couldn't just sleep it off or pretend it was a part of a storybook that I read. This really happened. It is my life. I got in the car to go pick up my kids. As I pulled out of the parking lot, I felt a sense of accomplishment. Wow, I really did that. It is a part of my story. It does not define me or who I am, but it really has started something new in my life in more ways than I ever expected.
There we
Wow.
go. Camilla's story. Oh man, there's so many things we could talk about in there. There's the way that the music fits perfectly for the story, the way you stop the music, the images you chose. There's so many artistic things that you did in your story, Camilla, that I really appreciated. But I wanted to turn the question around on you and
Okay.
ask, what is one image in your story that you found really powerful as you watched it today?
You know what? Actually, I started getting emotional. Actually, it was not necessarily the image, but it was the video that I have of me with my husband and my mom, and
Mm.
I'm getting to ring the bell, and it was just like, wow, like I really did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just,
Sorry.
just, hey, no problem. Just like you said in your story, right? You're driving away from the mall and you have these moments where you're like, wow, I really did that, and it sounds like you just had another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the digital storytelling process like for you? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Um, you know what? It brought back some memories and feelings for sure. Um, but more excitement than anything because I was excited to share my story
Mhm.
that, it's different for everyone, of course, but
Mhm.
excited to share my piece and yeah, it was good. It's been good.
It's been a month or so since you've created it. Have you had a chance to show it to people? And if so,
I
what was
have.
sort of the respond?
Yeah, yeah, I put it on my social media and I've had so many people reach out actually. I showed a couple of my coworkers and
Mhm.
they cried and I'm like, I'm sorry. That was not my intention. Um, yeah, no, it's been good actually. And then couple family members actually in South America saw it. So
Mhm.
they were really it hit them, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And what were people's responses to you? Like, what were some of the feedback
You're
or
so brave.
brave? Yeah.
Like again, I would have to show like I put on a brave face and just kind of go with it.
Mhm.
But they didn't really know, right? So
Mhm.
there was more shock for that. And my mom, she was with me from the very beginning. She took time off as soon as, we found out about my diagnosis. So
Yeah.
she saw, I guess, a little bit of the roller coaster that I was on emotionally and stuff. So to see it again made her have a hard time. And then of course my husband, yeah, he struggled with it and same with my dad.
Yeah.
So
Just because
yeah.
it's more emotional than they were expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, how you've lived this, right? Your husband, your mom, your dad, they've lived it with you, and yet, you watch it all in one place in a few minutes, and it hits you differently, right? And you can actually realize, wow, that was difficult. But I think I was really brave, and it's interesting how your aunt and there's certain people who for the first time saw how difficult it was because you did such a good job of putting on a brave face when you
Yeah.
when you shared it with them. I think that hints at another thing, and that's part of being a young adult with cancer, right? Is you really do try and support the people around you sometimes and we don't often give a window, I guess, into what it's really like, what it really feels like in those moments. So I mean, Amanda, I want to bring you in here. You've connected with lots of young adults, tons over the years who've had a brain tumor, and it's hard to know as a young adult how to bring friends and family into a brain tumor experience in a way that is authentic and real, but also sort of protects them, from some of the very difficult moments. Like, what have you sort of learned through all the young adults you've connected with over the years?
You want to share information, but you don't want to be like retelling it day in and day out to everybody, different. So I've learned that some people actually keep like an update on Facebook, for example, just like, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm doing, and then they kind of just share it to everybody at once.
Yeah,
that's what some people are doing. Or they might talk to their husband, or they'll talk to their mom or their dad, and then from there just have other people like connect with them, right? Almost like a tree of information, right? So as the patient, it's a little bit easier because you're just not having to relive the information over and over again.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think, that what you said about how everyone is probably putting on a brave face, that's a great thing for anyone to see, right? Because, you've sort of allowed us into your life to see the difficulty through your digital story. And hopefully that will encourage others who watch it, the other young adults, the other family caregivers, to let people in to some of the challenges that they're facing, and realize that, if everyone's putting on a brave face, maybe we should just talk about it, and I know I've heard from family caregivers, they feel that way too. They have to be positive, they have to be happy, because they don't want to, but if everyone's feeling that, maybe we should just talk about it. So hopefully your story is a good encouragement. Yeah, to do that. And so, for everyone who's tuned in for this, maybe that's a great motivator for you. Go have a good conversation with the person in your life that you're supporting, or is supporting you. And of course, feel free to keep chatting away in the comments there. Camila and Amanda and I will take a look, and we'll respond back to you guys. And so thanks so much for tuning in for episode 2 of Life Redefined. Camila, thanks so much for being here, and Amanda, thanks for being a part of this conversation. And we have 4 more stories coming, so tune in next Tuesday to watch the next story and continue to be part of the conversation. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.